Well, you said it's happening. Obviously, we saw the
Yeah.
teams for new uniforms. How's that process gone? And obviously, you're getting close.
Yeah, we had a little fun with that this morning. I think it went over pretty well from what I could see, and I'd say quite honestly, it's good. It's a bit of a relief to be able to finally let the fans know and confirm that we'll have new uniforms next season. It's been a great process. I think across the organization, staff, ownership, particularly Kerry, has really driven this process. Player involvement, obviously fan involvement. So really excited to finally move in that direction.
What's
With the
the
new, with
timetable and unveiling them and all
Yeah,
that?
it'll be happening sometime in the next few weeks. So I think there'll be more announcements to come. I'd say stay tuned on that.
with the teaser having the current logo on the helmet, is it fair to assume that logo will remain on the helmet?
That is a fair assumption. So same colors and same logo, but full redesign of the uniform.
When you took this job, obviously you saw the enthusiasm fans had for uniform designs here and other places, but did you know that new uniforms would be such a big part of your first year and a half on the job?
I did not. I knew that was one of the first things that fans really just started tweeting me about were the uniforms. So I knew there was a lot of passion and a lot of creativity along the way. And so we've seen a lot of the things, which I think is just a testament to the excitement of our fan base and how engaged they are and how much they do want to see new uniforms. And we surveyed the fans. I think we had over 10,000 survey responses from our fans, and it was great. It was 3/4 of them wanted new uniforms. Most of them wanted to keep the same colors and logo. So we tried to be true to that, but also wanted to go through this process authentically. It's been over a year, really, for us to think about who we are, who we want to be, something that our players are excited about. We went with Kerry and a team of us to Nike about a year ago this time, last spring. Went up to their headquarters in Beaverton and had a great experience with them, just being really thoughtful about design. And I think we will, and I think everyone will see and be proud of what we have.
Without sharing the details, because I know you want to kind of keep those under wraps, but how do these new uniforms kind of reflect what you're saying about who you are and who you want to be as a club?
Yeah, I think part of the process that we went through was talking about what's important to the Broncos, what's important to the Broncos fan base, wanting to evolve and be new and different, but also being respectful of our history and traditions, understanding our surroundings. I think from a geographic standpoint, there'll be nods to that. I think people will be really excited about it.
Where did the push for new uniforms come? Was it fans? Was it ownership? Combination?
I think it was mostly fans. Yeah, it was mostly fans. And I think once we anecdotally, informally heard things through the media, social media, and then when we surveyed fans, I think it was last fall, November, December time, that really solidified it for us. We also surveyed our players, and most of them wanted new uniforms as well. I think there's a sense of freshness. And so, yes, this is important for our fans, but it's also important for our players. We want them to feel good, be inspired. We talk about them being super suits when they go out on the field. And so that was really important as well.
Have players been involved through the process of looking into new uniforms?
Yep. So we've throughout the process over the course of the last 2 years, small group of them, basically our captains, tried to keep them involved. I think early on, soliciting thoughts, feedback, and then as we've iterated, tried to share a few different ideas and concepts with them for feedback as well.
Damani,
The NFLPA survey over the last couple of years has become kind of a marker for teams to sort of look at the way their players are feeling. What was the overall kind of, I guess, reaction from you guys about what the players said about the organization?
I think twofold. I think one, I think we're really proud to see the improvements that we've made in terms of our facilities and the resources committed to our players, to really see that reflected in the survey results. I think the other thing is that we take it seriously, and I think ownership takes it seriously, and we have a great relationship with our players. Opportunities for myself, coaches, obviously, but ownership to engage with them directly and talk about their experiences for them, for their families, and look for ways to make things better.
Obviously, it's been an off season that's been a lot about the quarterback position. You've been around the game for a long time. How important from your perspective, whether it's business or fan interest and all that, is having a guy who is the sort of quote unquote face of the franchise? What sort of difference does it make when you have that player in your?
Yeah, I think it's less about that position. I think for me, what I've always said and thought is that winning is good for business, and so really winning on the field helps us win off the field. And it's a team game. You need a lot of people in order to be successful, and us being successful on the field is the most important thing.
Damani, just take us through when you get new uniforms. When do you have to let the NFL know, and when does the process start and all that?
Yeah, so I mean, if we go back historically, the process started. I started in August. I think we sent out surveys in the fall. We officially began the process with the league and with Nike in January of last year. So it's quite a lengthy process. And as I said, it starts with a lot of survey your fans. Nike takes you through really sort of a design visioning process. What's important to you? What are you trying to accomplish? On a scale of 1 to 10, how much change are you looking for? A bunch of different things, and then you just sort of start iterating from a design standpoint, and then you have to move into production. Is this something that can actually be built? And so it feels like, and I think I came into it thinking, oh, this will be simple, this will be quick and easy, but once you get into it, you understand, production, manufacturing, design takes a while.
And the rule is you have to let the NFL know how much in advance. Kind of.
Basically a year for a change that doesn't involve logo or colors. If you're changing logo or colors, it's a 2-year process.
Damani, where do things
Fans should
stand
know,
with the?
Damani,
So-
anything fans should know about training camp with all the rebuild and renovation?
Yeah, obviously we're excited to be, building a new training facility. We think it'll be great, not just for our players, but for our staff. We'll bring about 80 people from the stadium into the new training facility, so that'll be really exciting. We are in the design phase now, at a fairly good level of detail, which is really exciting when these things start to come together. Specific to your point about construction, so we're working with Mortensen, they're our construction partner, working through the fine details of that right now of when that will actually start. So we could actually start construction before training camp, or we could start it after. So we're weighing that really as we speak, trying to figure out how that'll work. I think either way, there's going to be fans at training camp. We're going to work really, really hard to make sure they're seated safely and comfortably. It may be in a different location, obviously, if we've started construction, but more to come on that.
With the helmets, last year obviously you had the white helmets because things get 2 helmet shells. So will the new look have multiple helmet shells available?
Available, yes.
You guys spent all that money on renovations in the stadium. What was the feedback after the full season as far as your level of satisfaction? And then I guess how much of an itch is there to spend more money and do more stuff before you get into maybe of a whole new stadium?
Yeah. I mean, again, just a tremendous credit to our ownership group to come right in and commit $100 million to renovating the stadium. Well received by the fans. You hear it anecdotally from fans, but again, we survey a lot. Great feedback from our fans on the different things. People who experience, obviously the video board is something everybody can experience, but everything from the Breckenridge Bourbon Club, the people who are members of that club have a great experience. The artwork around the stadium. And then this year, I think we just announced that we'll have Club 77. It'll be new premium product that'll be different. We just want to continue to evolve the different menu items we have for fans to experience the game. Try to get a little bit smarter about what our fans like and are interested in. We'll do more things with artwork around the stadium, and we're also upgrading our Wi-Fi, which everybody likes. Everybody has their phone, and they want to post and tweet and all those things as fast as they can. So this will help us do that.
Sean raised at least the possibility, he said it hadn't really been discussed in detail, but of moving training camp at some point in the next 2 years. Would you like to avoid that? Do you think that's on the table at some point, depending on how construction goes?
Yeah, we would like to avoid that. So we talked about it early on and went through the variety of options of no fans at camp, doing camp somewhere else. I think historically there'd been a few times where we'd played games at the stadium and allowed fans in there. Our goal is to have training camp where it is and have fans be able to attend it. May not be as many fans as we've historically had, but that's our goal and that's what we're working towards.
Damani, since we talked to you last year, there's been announcement of further international games, right? Brazil, Spain. Do you see it, having worked in that kind of part of the NFL office, is there's really no limit to like where that's going to go in terms of where teams will play across the world?
Yeah, I think there's tremendous demand. I think the fandom around the world is tremendous, and so there's a great demand for it. I think the biggest hurdles are operational, and that's both in those sites, the stadiums themselves. Our staff works tremendously. The league staff works tremendously hard on that. I was talking to some of them here earlier today about Brazil and getting ready for that. It's a lot of work. And then the other is figuring out on the team side that schedule. Traveling north and south is a little bit easier. You start going east and west from a time zone standpoint, can get really difficult operationally. But I think there's tremendous demand for sure.
Outside the building, expectations for this season seem to be fairly low. Internally, what are those expectations for the season this year?
I think you know we're definitely not in the prediction making business, so we won't do that. But I know I am personally really excited about George and Sean. You know, spend a good amount of time with them, hearing their vision, the program they're trying to build, really for long-term sustained success. So I'm excited about it, enthusiastic about it, optimistic about it.
Damani, you spend so much time, obviously, you know, the business part is the main focus, but do you keep an eye on the community relations stuff, and especially when you lose a guy like Justin Simmons, who
Yeah.
is as valuable off the field in that regard, but how much do you have your finger on that?
Yeah, we have a great team. Allie Engelken's our VP of Community. She does a great job, and her staff. We actually just had a retreat, end of year retreat, reflect on the year, think about what we want to do moving forward. We had Alex Singleton, Tim Patrick came and joined us for that, just to share their stories, what's important to them, not only in terms of the community things that are important to them, but also just how they interact with us. And so, yeah, losing Justin on the field is impactful, but also off the field in the community is impactful. But we have a great staff. We have great locker room of players who want to support the community, and we just want to help them do that.
The new stadium is going where?
That's a great question. That's a good leading question.
Anything new on how that process?
No update. We continue to explore it, research it. All options are on the table. Renovation, significant renovation, new build, different location. All of those things are on the table.
You talked
Fan
about
feedback is so important to you. So, what do you say to fans who are a little upset the season ticket prices were raised again?
Yeah, I think what we try to do is be fair and reasonable. We spend a lot of time looking at data really on a section by section basis, primary ticketing, secondary ticketing, fan feedback, usage of tickets, and try to come up with what we think is a fair price. For us, ensuring our season ticket members get value out of being a season ticket member is really important. So I understand the concern when any price raises for any product or service, but we do think we're pretty fair and pretty competitive around the league.
You talked about liking the upgrades to the stadium. How much will the data that you get from that and what you learn about what you can get out of those spaces determine or help determine the path on the stadium decision, just in terms of like how much more you can get out of your current?
Yeah, I think it's important. I'd say it's significant. We spend a lot of time, when we go and play away games. Typically I get there, if not the evening before, the morning of, and we'll get their staff to give us a tour just to try and learn more about their stadiums, what they like, what they don't like. Talk to the teams who are going through the construction process now. When we played at Buffalo, as an example, that was a Monday night game. Monday morning, several of us went over there and visited with their team and just said, talk us through the process, explain to us why you chose certain things, didn't choose other things. So just try to continually learn and get smarter.
If someone's going to ask you what's the biggest reason to build a new stadium or huge renovation, what would the answer be?
The fans. Yeah, I think it's the fans. Their expectation for what they should get out of an NFL game. We were just talking about prices. What they expect to get and should get, feel like they deserve to get relative to what they're paying is really important. I think creating an environment, though, as well, that gives them a great experience is really important. But then also, obviously, our players and having great facilities for them so they can be successful on the field.